What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be changing some stuff around in the 55-gallon. Just got finished with a bunch of tank maintenance. That tank is finally starting to like clear up after a very consistent water change cycle. This tank is still waiting on wood and stuff, but it still looks really cool. Doing a big water change in the 75-gallon. There's a few of the Corridors Adolfo in the back. There were all 6 of them schooling with the autosinkless, but no, since I've been walking around, they kind of hid. But today I'm going to be adding paver sand onto the top of this substrate because I just like the way it looks when it's caps of sand. And I'm worried that all of the like old substrates and stuff are just kind of leaching stuff into the water column, and that's where all this BBA might be coming from. So we're going to cap it, and hopefully it'll look way nicer. I still need to clean up the glass a little bit. We missed a few spots with the razors. But anyway, I'm going to be using paver sand. I've used play sand in the past. That is... Oh, there's the Corys. They're so cool. I spent way too much money on them for how much I see them. I need more of them, though. I'm going to get more soon. But this is what the play sand looks like. A lot of people use play sand. I prefer ADA sands, but I didn't have the money for them at this point. This is ADA Colorado sand. I don't actually like the Colorado sand. I don't like how light it is. I like the, whatever it's called. Actually, no, this may be, I don't know. I don't remember. One of my tanks has it. This sand in here. It's hard to tell here, but this is a tank with a beta in it. But it's also very dirty. I've been neglecting the riparium for a very long time. It's God, I can't remember the name, but it's more of a reddish color. Like you can see here and here. Obviously this is kind of messy, but I mean that's like a direct comparison to this, and see how much lighter it is, even though it's capped basically at this point. There was sand all along this front section. I ordered a big bag of that and they sent me that stuff, so that's why we're doing that. But I like the redder coloration in the sand that has, as opposed to this whiter coloration. I actually need to lower this. One sec. But yeah, that water change is almost done with that. And this stuff is like, I lined them up, play sand at Lowe's with this stuff. This stuff is much more red, so I think it'll give a better vibe. This is, I mean, it's supposed to be Southeast Asian, so I think the redder substrate will look much better, kind of like clay. That's very common in Southeast Asia. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash some of this and start adding it and seeing how it plays out. All right, so I've begun adding sand only to like this little front section to kind of get an idea of what it's gonna look like. Obviously, sort of hard to tell because it's clouded up a lot, but I think it's gonna look a lot better with all the sand. It'll make the bottom look a lot cleaner, and it'll be easier to clean, hopefully. Hopefully the substrate stops leaching as much, and hopefully it just overall gives the vibe that I was looking to get with this. After this, I'm gonna do a big water change and trim all the leaves off of the plants that have BBA on them, and then go from there, fill it back up. Well, I'll probably trim after I fill it back up, but you guys get the idea. I'm gonna continue with this and then do the water change, then give you guys an update. All right, so this is post water change. Obviously it's still a little bit cloudy, but you can see through to the other side. You can see Artemis's enclosure right there. It'll clear up in the next day or so, probably in a few hours, hopefully. But it definitely looks much better like this. And I moved the wood around a little bit, just trying to find some kind of balance. I really don't like these materials, but we're working with what we've got. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trim a lot of these leaves that have BBA. A lot of the Dwarf Sagittaria has BBA on it. Some of the older leaves on the swords. Some of the older leaves, like this one, is really bad. Got to pull that off. And the crypts are putting off new growth. Like you can see smaller leaves right there. So it's fine to just basically chop down like everything other than the newer leaves. Because as long as they have those, it'll send out new leaves and send out runners and everything. So I'm basically going to hack down a lot of this and trim those, and go through all the dwarf sag, or at least most of it, and clean it off. But yeah, it's going well so far. So here we are after water change, after trimming plants, and all that. This is a few days after I last filmed and said I was gonna do the water change and all that stuff. But it's gotten some time to actually clear up and obviously you can tell a lot of these plants have been trimmed. It's much cleaner looking now, and I moved a little of these things around, but yeah, a big thing that I realized is kind of disappointing. The sand, when I looked at the bags like side by side next to play sand, this stuff was way, way, way more red. That's what drew it to me. I wanted like that red clay that's common in Southeast Asia. So I washed the sand out, and apparently all that red coloration was from like silt or sediment that was in there, and that all got washed out. So unfortunately, this is basically just play sand. Looks much, much better than it did. And so now I got a bunch of stone. I still need more, but we're gonna start with this, and I'm gonna try to re-aquascape a little bit and move a few things around and see what I like. But hopefully this stone really helps make this like workable. But yeah, I'm just gonna start messing with stuff. All right, I think that is definitely a very hefty improvement on where it was. Um, Still a little bit dirty. I was trying to figure out what was all this crap floating around. That's BBA dying, so that's actually a really good thing. All these random bits of like dirt and stuff, it looks like that's BBA, like the roots dying and they're falling off the plants and all that stuff, so that's a very good thing. The better water change schedule, I guess, and may possibly even adding the sand is helping with that. That's been a major thing. Like, this Java fern would look great if it weren't covered in BBA. I'm gonna hydrogen peroxide the crap out of a lot of stuff in this tank soon, so that should kill it all off and it'll fall off or do whatever. But yeah, I think it's much, much better with all this stone. And then obviously I moved these two pieces again. This piece got propped up with that stone, and there's another stone on the other side, you can see little guy right there, and I think that just looks so much better. These two stones were kind of left over. I was going to stick one there, but I thought I'd add some plants. This is a hygrophil Aquarium bosa, and I'm going to be trimming and replanting throughout this whole area, and that'll get extremely bushy and fill in a lot of this space right here as the crypts fill in as well, and as the swords grow in and everything grows in. Aside from that, obviously the dwarf Sagittaria needs to fill in a ton. There's like none on this side. There's one there, it looks like, and a bunch on the other side, but I may buy some more of that just to kind of jumpstart the process, but we'll see how fast it starts to throw runners. If it just starts taking over the tank, I won't worry about it, but if it takes some time, I may seed this area with some plants and some crypts. I think some crypts would look really good in here. But other than that, stocking is definitely going to change. I think this tank would look amazing with Harlequin rasboras and maybe some barbs or something like that. Just from this side, it just has that Asian kind of hill stream, not hill stream, but I don't even know. I don't know what I'm thinking, but it has a very like rivery kind of vibe. And that's what I was really wanting to get with this. So I'm going to be keeping the gouramis. Obviously, like I said, they were like the main kind of thing. So the gouramis will stay. I'll probably add 2 of them. And then I want to get some yo-yo loaches or some coolie loaches. And then Harlequin rasboras or barbs or something like that. So the tetras will be going and the scissor tails will be going. And that's going to look awesome. Just all this empty space for the Harlequins to swim and the yo-yo loaches to go crazy when we feed. But yeah, I think that was a very good improvement. It needed some stone, and we gave it some stone. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time.